But viewers, moving on, the Indigo flight crisis has hit day 4, plunging the nation's skies into absolute chaos. Over 1,500 flights scrapped in just 3 days, with more than 500 gone today alone, including all domestic departures from Delhi airport until midnight. Stranded passengers at major hubs like Mumbai, Bengaluru, Kolkata are all facing hours, even days of agony, with hotels booked out and rival airlines hiking fares sky high. Indigo just said that it aims to drop down cancellations below 1,000 by tomorrow. Another major update is that a massive intervention tonight has taken place from the Ministry of Civil Aviation as the government steps in to control the ongoing chaos in flight operations, particularly at Indigo. The ministry has taken urgent and proactive measures, placing the flight duty time limitation FDTL orders in abeyance with immediate effect. Let's go across to my colleague Danish Anand, in fact, who has been tracking this story very closely and all the action from DGCA. Danish, what are you gathering?
Today was a very packed day in terms of relief for Indigo, also for relief for all the airlines. As you said about the FDTL norms, we broke it earlier in the morning and we informed everyone that how DGCA has decided to give a relaxation as far as the weekly rest period is concerned. Even now, if the pilots are on a week off, that will be considered the rest period, and this is going to happen for just some time only. As far as relief for Indigo is concerned, the regulator has given Indigo some more relief, and by that I mean that the Indigo pilots that will be landing between 12 AM and 5 AM, only that will be counted as night landing. Because of the earlier FDTL norms, the definition of night landing was changed and it was stretched from 5 AM until 6 AM. So till 10th of February, Indigo can operate on this end. And now coming to Indigo, so throughout the day, we saw how Indigo kept on apologizing to the public for the large inconvenience that they have caused. And in the earlier statement, Indigo informed everyone that they will be refunding the passengers for the flight cancellations between 5th December to 15th of December. Besides that, whatever extra that they can do on ground, like providing food and hotel and accommodation, that they will be doing that, and they will be focusing on passenger comfort somehow. But just a few moments back, Mr. Peter Elbers, who is the CEO of Indigo, he came out with a video statement, and in that he first of all apologized to everyone, to all the stakeholders, especially to the passengers, because we are seeing that Indigo, which has 2,300 flights every day, and it was very proud of having 2,300 flights per day, but today the number of cancellations exceeded 1,000, which is like almost half of the daily flights that the airline operates. So now Mr. Peter Elbers has said that they're working on a different strategy, and the relief and the temporary relief that DGC has given to Indigo, that will really help them to get back to their feet. Till midnight, all Indigo flights have been cancelled at Delhi airport, and similarly at the Chennai airport, the flights have been completely cancelled, and even at Bengaluru, even at the Mumbai airport, all flights to Delhi and Bengaluru by Indigo have been cancelled. So this is what the CEO said, that he's very sorry for whatever has happened over the past 3-4 days. He accepted that they couldn't actually get a streamline with the FDTL norms. And in fact, I would also like to tell you that the regulator DGCA was still active, and just 2 hours back they passed out an order in which DGCA has created a separate committee, and this committee will be having 4 members of the DGCA. They will be investigating the entire matter, that what actually went wrong. And plus this has come after that point in time when Indigo in the meeting yesterday accepted that they couldn't comply with the FDTL norms. They had a lot of time to implement, but they just couldn't do it. So all of this will be investigated by the aviation regulator, and once the investigation is done, the committee has to submit the report in the next 15 days, and after that we can expect some other regulatory action or the other, and by that I mean we can expect Indigo to get fined by the DGCA. So that we'll come to know in the coming few days what is the fine that will be imposed to DGCA. But all in all, if we see, everyone hopes that things will get back to normalcy from tomorrow.
Right, Danish. In fact, I hope that things get back to normal from tomorrow, because I was at the Mumbai International Airport Terminal 2 and it was utter chaos there. In fact, I have Sanjay Lazar, aviation expert, joining me now to make sense of this entire commotion. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. The first question to you would be the obvious one, and I've asked some other experts before as well. How much of this Indigo meltdown was avoidable? Could this could this have been preventable? Because weren't they seeing this coming because they expanded their winter schedule so extensively despite knowing about the altercations that had happened to the FDTL norms phase 2?
Thank you, Malika, for having me on your show. Like Danish said, they've got a gift from God from the DGCA and the minister. Um, Absolutely, 100% of it was avoidable, and I think Indigo, which hitherto was probably the sharpest operator in the skies in India. When I say sharpest, they were the gold standard of operational excellence. And I've been tracking them for a couple of years for our research firm. And I cannot imagine that such a childish mistake could have been made by such a professional airline. Um, you know, First of all, every airline got 2 years to bring this in. And the order of January 2024 was carried forward to February 2025. In April, there was a contempt petition, and then they introduced phase 1 in July. Phase 2 was coming in November. Now, Malika, what's interesting, and I've been in airline operations as well, I've run rosters, years ago. There is a process which every airline undertakes 2 to 3 weeks prior to the onset of a new roster. You take your entire standard force of pilots and crew and you run the real-time roster as it would be in the new schedule, which is in this case the winter schedule. And you throw in delays, you throw in fog, you throw in disruptions, you throw in accidents, and you see how strong that roster is, whether your standard force meets the requirement. I know other airlines have done it. I'm certain Indigo has done it, and I'm pretty positive they were aware they were under the standard force. What is a standard force? A standard force is
Mr. Lazar, just so sorry to interrupt you. I would continue this conversation, but we're actually also getting live calls at the moment of passengers stuck perhaps. I have K. Ramakrishnan with me on the phone line. Ramakrishnan, if you can hear me, please tell us where are you speaking from and what is the problem that you're facing?
I am calling from Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
We booked it our Indigo Airlines ticket.
Okay.
On 9th December.
Okay.
To travel from Bagdora to Gorakhpur.
Okay, Gorakhpur in UP.
Gorakhpur. Yes. So as per the news received from this so many channels. I want the clarity from you whether this flight will be running or cancelling on that date, whether we have to change our flight or we have to wait. Please clarify about our travel.
Mr. Ramakrishnan, of course, we're not spokesperson of Indigo, so we can't tell you what would happen with your flight, but we have Lazar with us to help us understand this. And Ramakrishnan, hold on. Mr. Lazar, when I was at the airport this evening, a lot of people had the same question. So many of their flights had been cancelled. In such a situation, what should one do? Because airfares of other airlines have also ballooned by 4 to 10 times.
Malika, this is where the minister and the ministry need to step in. We have a weak passenger charter. We don't look after our passengers. Nobody is speaking about them. Look at this gentleman. I mean, he's stuck in Andhra Pradesh. He's got to go to another location. He doesn't know whether the flight will go on that day. And remember this, that Indigo operates a monopoly on almost 555 odd sectors. So if Indigo does not operate on that day, he may not have another alternative. And this is where the government should step in. First thing is fine and penalize this company and make sure that compliance is met, or they make alternate arrangements. For every, you have stations where the only airline that lands is Indigo. Indigo has become, what Indian Airlines used to be 40 years or 50 years ago. It was the only carrier in many stations. So this is what we need to look at. I really cannot advise this gentleman. I do hope and pray that Indigo normalizes its schedule and, in the coming 24, 48 or 72 hours. And, he gets his flight because he's probably going for a function or, some important occasion. And he's probably booked it so much in advance. I really cannot advise passengers.
Mr. Lazar, we also had some queries written to us, and I would like to bring to your attention 2 queries that stood out, not just on text, but when I was talking to people. Some Number one, some people are asking if they should even go ahead and book an Indigo flight next month. The question of trust has already come into place. And second, there are international travelers who have traveled all the way from another country to India. And perhaps in the case of the people I spoke to, Mumbai was just a halting point. And now they don't know where to stay. They don't know when their next flight would be, allotted to them. There was a huge chaos. If we can play those visuals on air, it was dramatic. I'd like to ask you in this context. Number one, according to you, now what happens to Indigo's trust? If somebody is asking if they should go ahead and book Indigo flights from next month onwards, what measures should Indigo take to renew its trust in so many passengers? Because remember, Indigo is one of the largest domestic carriers in India.
It is the largest domestic carrier, and it's the third or fourth largest carrier in the world by market cap. To answer your question about trust, I think you just have to play Peter Elber's video message of maybe an hour or two ago, where he himself candidly admits that we have lost the trust and reputation that we built over 19 years. It's so easy in a passenger-facing environment like aviation or hospitality to lose decades of trust in a moment's lapse. And this is what we see here. I can fully understand and empathize with the passengers who are saying this. My own family was stuck on an Indigo flight 2 days ago and had to travel to disrupted flight to another station, came by road eventually home. But, I would, if you'd asked me this 5 days or 6 days ago, I'd say, of course, trust Indigo. I'm also beginning to have second thoughts. I think they need to do a lot of makeup. The first thing, and this is personal advice from someone who spent 40 years in aviation, it begins at home. You need to get your home in order. The second thing is reach out to these passengers who have been affected, not only going further, the last 3-4 days. Like you say, there may have been passengers who were transiting through Mumbai and are stuck and they don't know what to do. Where do they get onto another airline, catching an international flight? And mind you, this is on the forefront of India getting its 350s and XLRs for international operations.
Right,
so
Mr.
there's a
Lazar.
lot they need to do.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Lazar, for talking to us on this issue. Of course, it is tough and it is unfortunate. It is sad also. I don't know how else to describe the situation, but thank you so much for bringing us your perspective to the table. We really value it.